The problems are many, and we can't solve them all at once. That is why we have it as a policy as bishops, Catholic bishops, to meet. The first meeting is in the first quarter of the year, and the second meeting is always in September, second week of September. And our aim is, one, to pray together, two, to interact, and three, to cross-fertilize ideas. Some come from the west, some from the east, some from the north. So we experience different things in our places of work. So we come to share, and we pray, and we gain a lot. Like now, since we came this week to Auchi in Edo State, we have benefited immensely from our interactions. We first of all had the priests here, representatives of the diocesan priests. They came, we had one full day of deliberations. We focused on artificial intelligence, and it was a very inspiring and enlightening experience. And then we had the next day the laity, representatives of the laity, men, women, youth, all of them. They were here, and we had a very heart-to-heart conversation. They told us what is worrying them, the pains they go through, and all that happens to them. And we also shared with them our predicaments as bishops. In that way, we are understanding ourselves, and we are on the same wavelength. We are not moving in one direction, and they are moving in the other. The problems are many: spiritual, pastoral, social. They are all over. And since we can't do much to solve all the problems, we just meet like this and take each time a problem and deal with it. Like now, at this meeting, we were focusing on the poverty of our people, the hopelessness that they experience, and which brought about end bad government protests or demonstration. We had to focus on that and see where we come in, how we can play our part, and how we can call on government with a very loud voice. At the end of our meeting, we issue a communique, and we appeal to government to be up and doing, to do something. We are working with the people at the grassroots. We know their pains firsthand, where it's not something we are told. We experience it because we go to them, they see us, they feel us, we feel them. So based on our pragmatic knowledge of what is on ground in Nigeria, we are able to convey that to the government, hoping that the government will have a listening ear. We don't have any magic play, so we can't solve all the problems of Nigeria. We can only pray and then highlight them, hoping that those charged with the responsibility of governance will do the needful. And then we shall have a better nation, and we shall have a better way to practice our religion in peace and in happiness. Yes, it's true that we are blessed in the sense that when we speak, they listen. Whether they do anything about what we say is another matter. I definitely come into contact with senators, with ministers, even from time to time with the president when we have a function. I know the ordinary man on the street will not have that access, but we do. And I tell you, we don't misuse that opportunity. Anytime we meet with government officials, whether at the lower level or the higher level, we don't fail to convey to them the sadness of our people, the poverty our people are going through, the youth roaming the streets in their millions without work. Somebody has graduated from university, 5 years, 10 years, no work. And you expect the person to be normal. You expect the person to contribute his or her quota to national development and growth. We don't fail to articulate our concerns to government. Go and read our communiques. The communiques we have been issuing since 1960. Even before Nigeria became even independent, the bishops have been talking. Just go and read them. Under the military, under the democratic dispensation, now we continue to talk. The question is, are they listening? And if they are listening, do they put into use what we advise? It's not about talking and being seen in the company of this governor or president or minister. It's about what they do with the message we give them. As it is now, we are like dogs which can bark, but they cannot bite. Because barking is just noise. You can't bark, you can't bite. How I wish our lay people would understand that we are also in the same predicament as themselves. We sometimes suffer terrible frustration. You think we have easy access to the governors, to the ministers, to the president. That is not the case. If we want to meet our officials, there is a lot of bureaucracy. And if you are lucky to meet them, sometimes, like I said, it's not a meeting that is very productive. You say the same thing over and over. I remember during the tenure or the time of Abacha, we went to see him. Obasanjo, we went to see him. Yaradua, we went to see him. Goodluck Jonathan, we went to see him. Now, President Buhari was there. I remember as president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, I led the bishops to see him twice. And when President Tinubu came on board again, we are planning a serious meeting with him. We met him before elections. He met us as Catholic bishops to convince us that he's the right person to be chosen as president. Now he was chosen, and we are waiting to see. And now that we see our people languishing in hunger and poverty, we are eager to go and report to him. But we are still finding the way. But people think that you just take the phone and you dial the president's number and he says, oh, come tomorrow for breakfast. It's not like that. It's not like that. It takes time. So we are with the people, we are concerned. We feel their grief, their sadness, their social deprivation. We feel it. We see it. Yesterday, the bishop of this diocese, Bishop Gabriel Dunia, asked us to go and visit the villages. We went there and we saw. When the bishops were in Abuja last September, I sent them not to the center in Asokoro, Maitama, central area. No, I sent them to the villages, to the interior. The new pastoral areas we created since I became the Archbishop of Abuja. We have so far created 65 pastoral areas. These are areas that have no land in some cases, no church, no house for the priest, nothing, but there are people there. I just tell the priest, go and be with them, be there, strengthen them, even if there is no room, nothing. Just find anywhere and gather for worship and do that regularly. And for the past 3 years, 4 years, they are doing it and it's working. So we are there with the people, and how we wish the government would listen to us. Just the last point we discussed today, closing our meeting here, was about child rights, the rights of children. We have children in our school, we build schools, we have hospitals that accommodate sick children and adults, but then we get no government subvention. People complain, oh, the school fees of Catholic schools, very expensive. They go to hospital, very expensive. This is because government does not give us anything. They rather come to take. They want us to pay taxes. They want to charge us for this, for that, instead of giving us freely so that we can help the citizens. And this will ease the burden from them. They know. They come to tax us. They feel we are competitors. So they are coming to ask us to. While in the US, in the UK, in Italy, in Germany, they have provision for assisting faith-based organizations, the churches. In Germany, they pay tax. They collect taxes of Christians from the source. The government collects it and gives it to the bishops so that they can do social work and other things. In the UK, we have the Catholic Relief Service. They are all over Africa. They get money and they give them to go and do social services. They are here in Nigeria, and the universities in the UK, in the US, most of them are owned by the church. The secondary school, the primary school, the universities, most of them are owned by the church. What does the government do? The government gives you money and tells you, run these schools the best way you can, but run them according to the correct standards. And they're there to come and supervise and investigate to see if you are going according to plan. That is all they do. But they have enough resources from the government to run these institutions. Now, that is why the school fees are low or non-existent. In the UK, the Nigerian youth who left Nigeria to relocate to the UK, they are calling me to say, we have schools, Catholic schools that are free. In primary school, secondary school, they are free. Why? Because the government gives the Catholic Church money to build structures, to run the school and so on, pay the teachers, and therefore you don't need to pay school fees. How do you have employment without capital? What? Tell me any kind of, apart from selling groundnuts or vegetables, or even you need capital. Where do you get it? And you want people to be able to train their children. When they are sick, they take them to hospital, and then they buy things and look after them. The groundnuts you sell won't do exactly that. So it is government responsibility to provide jobs for people. While we educate people on self-reliance, go and do some farming, do some fishing, do some business. Are you a woman? Do some hair, salon. Do something. A tailor, a mechanic. Don't wait for government jobs. Unfortunately, some people are waiting for government jobs. One, the government jobs don't pay well. The person who fries akara by the roadside makes more money at the end of the month than the person who is in the office wearing tie every day to office. They don't make as much money. So there is a lot there. So that is where we also direct our youths, that don't just focus on government and government must give us money or jobs, and you are waiting for 5 years, 10 years after graduating from school. That is not good. St. Paul says, he who does not work should not eat. And therefore, we tell our young people, don't just be languishing, lamenting that government is not doing this for us. Do something for yourself. Begin something, no matter how humble, how little, I tell you, it will go a long way. So while we are asking government to give our young people their rights, if we are having children in our schools, you have this TET Fund project, you are giving scholarships, you are giving these, renovating school. Why can't you come and do it for us also? Because these children are citizens of Nigeria. So while we are talking to the government, we are also reminding our young people that they must not sit idle. They must be creative. Whatever you studied in the university, use it. You will make a living by the grace of God out of it. Say who pays the piper dictates the tune. But this should be respected. When you are assisting faith-based organizations, you should know that these faith-based organizations have a history older than even the government. They have a tradition. They have principles and policies. So you don't just come and rubbish everything and say, I'm paying you money. Therefore, teach the children something that is contrary to your religion, to your culture, to your faith and everything. No, the government would have to respect the organization and what they stand for. They must have scrutinized the organization to know that this organization will not teach anything wrong to the children, that they are not going to teach them to be anti-patriotic, to be unpatriotic. They are not going to teach them to be, violent and to cause unnecessary trouble in the society. They are going to mold their character, transform them into good citizens. They must have found that out. So if they are going to mold these children to be good citizens, then there must be something behind them, guiding them, their tradition, their faith, their culture, everything. So the government must respect that. You don't come and tell the teacher in our school to teach children that a man can marry a man. No, our own culture, religion, and Christian religion and all that tell us that a man must marry a woman. And that is our standard belief. Then you come and tell us, because you are giving money, you have to change that and teach these children that it is all right for a man to marry a man, it is all right for a woman to get pregnant and then she will take medicine and abort the child even after the child has grown and all that. So they must respect our values, respect our faith, and we also respect the government laws. As long as we are not doing anything, or the faith-based organizations are not doing anything contrary to the laws and contrary to government rules and regulations, they should allow us to operate freely. That is how. I told you that Nigeria is a nation, a pluralistic nation. Religion, we are different religions. Ethnic groups, there are so many. So you cannot just say, we endorse this one. And even among the bishops here, we have people from the north, the south, the east. If I say I'm going to endorse the candidate from my area, then the others will feel, rather, let's look for the best candidate and then hopefully enlighten our people to go for merit and not just for sentiments of tribe and religion. That is what we do. We don't say, this is our candidate. No, remember, Peter Obi is a Catholic. And we could have said, every Catholic must vote for Peter Obi. But no, we met with Peter Obi, we discussed things, and we advise people, open your eyes, open your ears, listen well, and be able to make the right choice. So we don't force people. You have freedom of choice. And remember, during the campaigns, we met with President Tinubu, who was a candidate then. We met Atiku Abubakar, he was a candidate then. We met with Peter Obi, and we have done so in the past. So we continue to do so. We are neutral, yet when we see a good leader and we can encourage our people to follow and vote for, we shall do that. We are interested in the outcome of the elections because we want good leaders. We don't just see people who are bad and we vote for them and then we all suffer. No, let's vote for the right person. Even if that right person is a Christian or a Muslim, we must vote for merit, for somebody who is productive and somebody who can move us forward. For 1 week we have been talking. Remember I said we talked with the priests, we talked with the laity representatives, the women were here, the youth were here, the CYO, the CWO, very active and dynamic people. They were all here. They were listening to us, we were listening to them. And at the end, we produce a communique. We are going to share that. The communique will deal with something like the year of prayer, the Jubilee year, the artificial intelligence that we talked about. We should be careful not to overuse this technology, that it will debase our humanity and so on. We talked about abuse in the liturgy, that some people come to Mass anyhow, dressed anyhow, priests behave somehow during the Mass. We say, no, there should be proper decorum during the Mass. We talked about the state of the nation, and it is there. We talked about the need for good governance. We talked about unnecessary taxation of people like us, faith-based organizations who want to help the government to improve the lives of the people. No, we talked about the youth and many other things. We hope that this will be read in every parish in Nigeria. Tonight, it will be read in the church as a communique officially given by the bishops after their 1 week meeting. And then this will now go to all the dioceses and read in the parishes. When you hear that and you say, oh, this is what the bishops having gathered together are saying, then you begin to act. You act on it and then you take action. The bishops are teaching us this, or they're asking us to do this, to avoid this and to do this. No, that is action. So the lay people have the duty to carry out the policies and principles we have enunciated in our communique and teachings. So that is their part. We brainstormed, we prayed, we talked, we discussed as people who are experienced in the pastoral field, and now we give them the fruits to go and live. Just like when we finish Mass, we say, go in peace, the Mass is ended. We're not saying that the Mass is concluded. No, we're saying go and live out the Mass. What did you hear? What did you see? What did you feel? Go and live it out in concrete reality, in your daily life, in your conduct, in your family, in your place of work. It's not good to give up. People become so frustrated that they are saying there's no hope again. I'm saying, no, there is hope. God is still God. These leaders, they come and they go. Let's pray that we get the right leaders, beginning from the grassroots level to the highest level. We are praying, and God will hear our prayer, we know. Remember, we composed the prayer for Nigeria in distress. Somebody asked during our encounter that we are saying these prayers for many years, nothing has changed. I said, no, something has changed. This change, we don't see it, but it's changing gradually. One day it will just happen, and you say, wow, how did it come about? It's the result of our accumulated prayers. So these rosaries, we say, Hail Mary, full of grace, keep saying them. The prayers we say at Mass, keep coming to Mass, keep saying these prayers, and you'll see that God is a God of love and mercy. He cannot abandon his children in Nigeria. We are so blessed. We are a blessed nation, loved by God, and God is there for us. It's only for us to reach out and say, here we are. He will not abandon us. And all will be well with Nigeria. We shall remain united. We shall remain one people. We shall be peaceful. There will come a time when all this insecurity will be gone. Poverty will be gone. Unemployment will be gone. And we shall live, and peace will flow like a river.